My name's Charles Zulu. I'm a small-scale farmer in the Kasenga resettlement scheme. We are 12 kilometers north of Kasisi in a resettlement called the Kasenga resettlement. Majoring in the crops and the livestock. This makes me to be a mixed farmer. I'm doing a mixture of crops and livestock. In livestock, I'm looking after a herd of 42 cattle, and these are local breeds which are quite manageable disease-wise. And I'm also into the small livestock. The small livestock includes goats, sheep, chickens, turkeys, and guinea fowls. In the poultry section, we have quite a large variety of species of the chickens. We have the Brahma chickens, we have the silky chickens. We also have the Saso. These are improved village chickens. And the typical village chickens. In this area, we are surrounded by a community which is also into the same. They may not do exactly what I'm doing, but they are basically doing some kind of farming. I'm at a place which is called the Center of Excellence, where we are scaling up nutrition by keeping these animals. These animals help improve the nutrition for the pregnant mothers and the breastfeeding mothers with children below the age of 2. We are also specifically looking at crops that are going to add up the good nutrition to these mothers and their children. In the crops, we are measuring in the orange maize, which is the vitamin A fortified. We are measuring in orange sweet potato, vitamin A fortified. We are also doing a bean called the Mbereshi beans. This is an excellent bean which has a lot of minerals and other nutrients. So the impact of my activities at this place is that the other farmers also come for some training. We have some interactions. Others may classify me like as a lead farmer in agriculture. We call a person that brings other farmers and information from the DACO's office to the farmers. The farmers encounters up to the DACO's office. We call them lead farmers. So I'm also a lead farmer, and we do some trainings. We do trainings in the animal husbandry. These sheep and goats, they need medication. They need a balanced diet. They need a good water. They need good housing. Otherwise, if all these things are not there, the outcome of your breed and your livestock will not be a good one. So we have to exchange ideas. We bring other farmers, they tell us what they are passing through. The veterinary department in Chongwe district would also ask me to bring up farmers and do vaccinations for different kinds of diseases. So I know the farmers around me, and we have made up some crash pens where we round up various farmers' animals, and then we do the vaccinations, or they do the sampling, and then the Department of Vet makes recommendations for drugs to be acquired by the farmers according to what they've found from the samples. So all in all, it's not one man's farm, but it's a communal one because of our interactions with the community. We're also able to advise farmers not just to sell their animals anyhow, but they can add some value to them. We teach value addition. In this area, we are talking about smoking of the livestock. A smoked product has got a premium value than a live one or just a dressed one. We're also into aquaculture. We bring up women and men, train them on how to construct ponds, on how to manage a pond, on how to feed fish, and how to sample the fish, and how to catch the fish, even on how to sell the fish. So all in all, it is not a one-man farm, but it's having a lot of other people coming to know and learn and teach each other in various aspects of agriculture. In livestock, there are a lot of diseases that are there. Some of them, they are preventable. Some of them, you can see symptoms. Some of them, you may not be able to see symptoms. Others, when you see the symptoms, by the time you see the symptoms, it's too late. They are quite costly to manage. So basically what we do is we are able in the livestock to deworm. The worms are parasites that really disturb the health of our animals. The worms carry a lot of diseases that negatively affect the growth of the investment. So we have to deworm. We have to deworm chickens, we have to deworm goats, we have to deworm all of our livestock. And when you deworm them, you are actually cutting costs when the disease strikes. The other thing that we have to do is to eradicate ticks. There are quite a number of tick-borne diseases that are prevailing. So we have to run a dipping schedule where we have to get rid of the ticks. We also have to understand that these ticks may be resistant to a certain drug that we are using, a calicide that we are using, and we have to notice it. After dipping a few days, you still see the ticks are coming back or they are still there. So you have to understand that cycle or that resistance. Either you bring in a new kind of a calicide or you increase the dosage. We have to expand this also outside our farm, encourage other farmers to do the same. Because when the other farmers have the diseases and their animals die, they may die in the pastures. So ours will stray where the dead one. The rains may wash down anything from the carcass, and you find that you are also going to be affected like you didn't have a prevention. So a collective prevention regime is what we encourage our neighbors, those who can reciprocate, respond. we welcome them. Disease management is very costly. When the disease is there and you want to manage it, the drugs on the market are expensive. For example, if a farmer notices a certain symptom and comes to me and says, may I have a drug for maybe a jab or two? If I'm able to give, I will give. But I can tell you that is not helpful, because that one jab, it might be one out of a course of 7 days. So the other farmer will be excited because his animals are not dying, and this is the medication he's using, and he has given me, so he ends up with that less dosage of the course. Finally, disaster will strike, and you say, no, he didn't give me the right one. So this is the education that we try to impart in our friends. The management of diseases, when they are there, they are very, very, very costly. You have to get outside the box. For example, other drugs would be maybe 800 kwacha to treat just 2 or 1 animal, and you don't have that money. It's better you go into the crow, delete 2 good ones at a good price, and buy the medication for either prevention or treatment for the whole crow. So that is what we try to impart into other farmers. Really, the language should be farming is a business. So if they don't have that business aspect of doing away with in order to do with, then the whole scenario is difficult. Our products and in different places. We sell this on the open market, and the open market is the most dangerous one, whereby you find someone shouting for a price, and yet he doesn't know what you have walked through in order to bring up that product. Because of that, we have introduced what we call value addition. Value addition is actually to change the state, to change the shelf life of your product from one state to a longer one. For example, you may, in aquaculture, instead of crying about load shedding, my fish will go to waste because there is no refrigeration because of power failure. I have to smoke the fish. I have to dry the fish, sun dry it. I have to salt the fish. So that makes it a possibility for me to have that fish stay longer with me outside the pond and before I release it. We smoke our products like chickens. The advantage of value addition is that it changes the state of your product. For example, if I'm to transport 20 chickens alive to the market, I have to book a van. If I'm going into a public minibus, I'll mess up the whole minibus. And when I reach there, someone else will come shouting, so much, so much, so much. No, people are not buying, reduce. They are very difficult to carry. If I dress the chickens and I carry them with the climate, a hot climate, I have to dispose them before they go bad. So these are the challenges. But if I do value addition, for example, the same 20 chickens which I have to book a van on my own, the same chickens which I have a headache with the refrigeration if they are dressed, these can stay longer in that state before they go bad. And these, because in smoking, the process dehydrates much of the water. The whole chicken has a loss of weight, but still valuable. So that water, that moisture in the chicken, when it is dehydrated, it makes the chicken look more different, and it makes the chicken actually gain value. It's the same with our goats. If I'm not selling the goat for breeding, someone wants to consume and have to ferry to that client, I would rather ferry it in a smoked form, and the value obviously we have to appreciate. So there's a premium price for a value added product. So these are some of the things again that we try to impart into our friends. The same, even the crop farmers, we try to say, can you dry your vegetables, especially when the market is flooded? People literally leave bags and bags of vegetables at the market because the market is flooded. But if you know that the market is flooded and you have the product, why not add value by drying them? At a time when they are out of stock, you can still fetch a premium price. So value addition is one of the ways to go in agriculture.